Every story you'll hear here is real, told by the very people who live through it. Encounters with creatures, spirits, and mysteries that most will never believe until they see it themselves. The actual names of the people in the story have been altered to protect the identities of those involved. This story is about Pastor Algie, a man whose life was devoted to shepherding a small Christian church in his community. He was known for his steady sermons, his warm but firm voice, and the way he carried himself as if the burdens of his flock were his own. The church was modest. Wooden pews polished from years of use, hymnals with torn corners, and sunlight spilling in through old stained windows. One humid Sunday, while Algie was preaching about faith and standing firm through trials, something unusual caught his eye. In the middle of the congregation sat a woman, restless, distracted, and unable to keep still. She clutched her handbag tightly, her eyes darting toward the door. First, she left, then returned. She left again, only to come back once more. Each time, her movements grew more uneasy, as though she was caught in a battle, unseen by the rest of the church. On her last return, she didn't just sit. Her body was tense, her breathing harsh. Suddenly, she lifted her hand, pointed directly at Pastor Algie, and shouted for him to stop preaching. Before anyone could react, she threw her Bible toward him. The congregation gasped. Her voice that followed was not her own. It was guttural, unnatural, as if something else had taken hold of her. The ushers rushed to steady her, but her strength was beyond normal, thrashing violently against those who tried to help. Alarm spread quickly. Mothers pulled their children closer, while others whispered the word none wanted to believe: possession. Algie stepped down from the pulpit, his heart steady though his skin prickled with fear. He approached the woman carefully and began to pray over her, invoking the name of Jesus Christ to cast out whatever had taken over her spirit. The church, filled with voices, murmured prayers, cries of fear, and pleas for protection. Then the thing inside her spoke. Through her strained lips came words that chilled everyone present. You think you can end me here? Outside this church, there are more of us waiting at the doors. The congregation froze. A shiver ran through the room like a cold wind. People imagined the church doors, and beyond them, dark, faceless figures pressing against the entrance, waiting for a soul to claim. Goosebumps rose on their arms, yet Algie stood firm. His voice grew louder, bolder, commanding the evil spirit to leave in the name of Christ. The woman screamed, her body convulsing until, at last, she grew limp. The thrashing ceased. Her breathing slowed. When her eyes opened again, they were her own. She wept softly, exhausted but free. The church members gave her water and comfort. Algie sat beside her and gently asked what had happened. With trembling lips, the woman introduced herself. She explained that she was an OFW, burdened with the crushing weight of her work abroad and the endless problems of her family back home. The pressure had broken her spirit, her sanity faltering under voices that whispered endlessly in her mind. She confessed that each time she stepped outside the church during the sermon, she saw them, black figures gathering near the doors, waiting for her, and then she lost consciousness until the moment she awoke inside the church again. The congregation listened in stunned silence. Pastor Algie, moved by her story, blessed her and led the church in prayer, not only for her healing, but also for protection for every soul present. They prayed against the darkness lingering outside their doors, against the unseen shadows that preyed on the weary. That day, the church left with trembling hearts, but also with a renewed faith, for they had witnessed a battle not of flesh and blood, but of spirit. And they saw that even in the face of darkness, the light of Christ could still break through.